I was watching YouTube the other day, and there was a great example of somebody doing this kind of knitting called Viking knitting, and it uses copper wire. Most of the times people use specialty craft wire, but I didn't have any. The only thing I had around was electrical wire like this for my projects. So this electrical wire is kind of cool. It's got 4 strips, and inside you've got 4 chunks of wire. So I wanted to figure out how I could strip the wire out of here. So for most times you have a simple wire stripper like this. So I started off getting some of this wire, cutting it, and then you're okay using a simple box cutter like this to start taking out pieces. So now when you have a piece of wire like this, what a lot of things you can do is use the smallest chunk on the wire stripper here. But that's kind of fiddly. It ends up being a pain in the butt, but eventually you can do it. But that's not going to work for a whole piece of wire. When people use this, make one of these, they end up making this out of like 5 arm lengths. So then once you have this, the idea was, what if you can, instead of cutting a bunch this way, if you can cut it nice slit all the way down here and then just strip out the wire. But I don't know about you, I don't really have that kind of accuracy. So then I started thinking about digging through my toolbox and what can I use. So I thought, what if you had something to hold this in a channel, so imagine 2 sides holding it in a channel, and then this box blade could then be held on top and you would just drag it through. So initially I was thinking about using some paper and some clamps and more paper on top to hold it in a channel, and then this would just feed through the paper. As I looked through my toolbox though, I found something even easier. So I just had some Meccano lying around. So it turns out that the width of 2 Meccanos is exactly the width of this wire. So then you've got the width of 2 Meccanos here. You can use this as a channel, 2 Meccanos connected as a channel to feed it through. Now that holds it in place. And then these 2 more Meccanos that are allowed to split, and on that you can then put your box cutter or blade. So now what you do is you aim down the middle and you just make sure that the box cutter is aligned. And once it's aligned, you hold it with your hand. Gotta pull it through a little bit so you've got a place to grip. Just make sure it's aligned. And use some handy dandy pliers. And as you're holding this, take a nice grip and just pull it all the way through. Now once that's done, you just look for a place that's been cut And you can see it got cut right through there. Then you just strip out your wire. And there you go, stripped copper from regular electrical wire.